Every woman who comes to me after a hard year says the same thing. I was under so much stress, and then my hair just started going. The job, the loss, the relationship, the sleepless nights, the months of running on nothing. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, the hair started leaving too. And now, the stress is lighter, but the hair has not come back. And you do not understand why. The body is still holding on to this damage when everything else has moved on. I see you, sister. You are looking at old photos and noticing the difference in your crown, in your temples, along the part. You have tried to rebuild it, the oils, the supplements, the scalp serums, and it grows back a little, slowly, not the way it was. Here is what stress actually does to the hair and why the damage outlasts the stressful period by months and sometimes years. Chronic stress floods the body with cortisol, and cortisol directly depletes the scalp's lipid reserves. The sebaceous glands, the small organs inside the follicle responsible for producing the oil that feeds and protects the hair root, begin to shut down under prolonged cortisol exposure. The follicle stops being fed from within. Inflammation rises at the root, and the hair enters a prolonged shedding phase that does not end simply because the stressor is gone. The scalp has to be actively replenished for the follicle to come back out of that state. And most of what women use for this, light oils, serums, scalp sprays, cannot penetrate deeply enough to reach the sebaceous gland and signal that it is safe to restart. What you need is a lipid-dense oil that the follicle recognizes at a cellular level, one that carries oleic and linoleic acid in a form the scalp can absorb directly, and natural tocopherols to reduce the cortisol-driven inflammation still sitting at the root. This is what Batana oil from the American palm provides, and it is why the Tavira women of Honduras, who live with physical hardship their entire lives, do not lose their hair the way modern women do. They have been feeding the follicle this way for centuries, and the wisdom has never left them. But Batana must be unrefined and pure for this to work. Processed Batana has had everything stripped out of it, and you will feel and see no difference. The only brand I have found that is truly raw and sourced directly from Honduras is Lebanta, and it is on Amazon. I put the link in my bio because so many sisters kept asking. Comment cortisol and I will send you the exact ritual I give every woman recovering from a stressful period.